Hello, and welcome back to the Pocket English Podcast, your favorite place to learn English in simple, bite sized steps. I am Sarah, and I am so happy you are here with us today for another session. We know that finding time to study can be really hard, so we make sure these lessons fit perfectly into your busy day, whether you are walking the dog, driving to work, or just drinking your morning coffee.
And I am Mark. Hello, everyone. It is great to be back. Today, Sarah and I have a very special topic for you. It is something that almost every English learner struggles with, even if their grammar is perfect. It is the difference between being correct and being connected. You see, a lot of our listeners tell us that they know how to introduce themselves. They know the words. But when they speak, they feel a little bit like a robot.
That is exactly right, Mark. We call this the police report problem. When you learn English in school, you learn to list facts. It sounds like this. Hello, my name is Sarah. I am from New York. I am a teacher. I like books.
Ouch, Sarah, that sounds very cold. It sounds like you are giving me information, but you do not want to be my friend. It is grammatically correct, but it is socially dead. There is no feeling in it.
Exactly, and that is the problem. You want to sound friendly, warm, and natural. So today, we are going to teach you one simple rule that will change your introductions forever. We call it the +1 rule. By the end of this episode, you will be able to take those boring facts and turn them into a warm conversation.
The +1 rule is very simple. The rule is this: never give a naked fact. A naked fact is just information. I am from London. I am a doctor. Those are naked facts. To make your English sound natural, you must dress up the fact. You need to add one small detail or one small feeling to every fact you share. Just one extra sentence. That is why we call it +1.
Let's look at how this works with where you are from. Mark, give me the robot version first.
Okay, here is the robot version. I am from Manchester.
Okay, that is a naked fact. Now, Mark, I want you to use the +1 rule. Tell me you are from Manchester, but add one detail about how you feel about it, or a small fact about the city.
Okay, let's try this. I am from Manchester. It is a very rainy city, but the people are incredibly friendly.
Wow, what a difference. Did you hear that? He said, I am from Manchester. That is the fact. Then he added the +1. It is a very rainy city, but the people are incredibly friendly. Suddenly, Mark sounds like a real person. He sounds like someone I want to talk to.
And it is so easy to do. You do not need complex grammar. You just need to add a simple opinion. You can talk about the weather, the food, the size of the city, or how busy it is. For example, if you are from a small village, do not just say, I am from a small village. Say, I am from a small village. It is very quiet and peaceful there.
I love that, Mark. Let's try another one. Imagine you are from a very big, noisy capital city. You could say, I am from the capital. It is crazy and loud, but the food is amazing. See, you're sharing a piece of your personality, not just a location on a map.
This is also a great way to help the other person continue the conversation. If I just say, I am from Manchester, the conversation stops. But if I say, it is rainy, but the people are friendly, Sarah can ask me, oh, are the people really friendly? Or she can say, I do not like rain. The +1 rule invites connection.
So listeners, I want you to try this right now. Think about your city or your country. What is one simple detail you can add? Is it beautiful? Is it busy? Is the food spicy? Say the name of your city and then add your +1. Go ahead, say it out loud wherever you are. That was great. I hope you found a nice detail to add. Now let's move to the second part of an introduction. This is where people usually get stuck. It is when you talk about your job.
Oh yes, the job introduction. This is where people sound the most robotic. Usually people just say their job title. I am an engineer. I am a student. I am a nurse.
And just like with the city, this creates a dead end. Unless I am also an engineer, I might not know what to say to you. So we are going to use the +1 rule here too. But for jobs, we have a special tip. We like to use adjective pairs.
Adjective pairs are two describing words that balance each other. Work is rarely just one thing. Usually work is a mix of good and bad. So to sound natural, you can share that mix. A very common pattern is using the word but. For example, it is hard but good.
That is a perfect pattern for beginners. Mark, let's try an example. Imagine you are a nurse. That is a very difficult job. How would you introduce yourself using the +1 rule and an adjective pair?
Okay,
If I am a robot, I say, I am a nurse. But if I am a human using the +1 rule, I would say, I work as a nurse. It is very tiring, but I love helping people. That is beautiful. It is very tiring is the negative adjective. I love helping people is the positive feeling. When you put them together, you sound honest, you sound humble. Let's try another one. Imagine you work in an office, maybe in IT or accounting. Maybe your job is not very exciting, but it pays well. You can say, I work in IT. It is a bit stressful, but I like solving problems. Or maybe you are a student. Do not just say, I am a student. Say, I am a student. It is a lot of work, but I am learning so much. The key here is emotion. When you share how you feel about your job, you stop being a job title and you start being a human being. Sarah, what about people who maybe do not like their jobs? Is it okay to say that? That is a great question mark. In English introductions, we usually try to stay a little bit positive, especially when we first meet someone. You do not want to complain too much, but you can be honest without being negative. For example, if your job is boring, you can say, I work in a bank. It is very quiet, which gives me time to think. That is a very smart way to say it. You are turning a boring situation into a positive observation. So, listeners, it's your turn again. Think about your job or your studies. What are 2 adjectives you can use? Is it busy? Is it interesting? Is it hard? Is it fun? Try to make a sentence. I am a job, and it is adjective, but adjective. Try it now. Excellent. You are already sounding so much more natural. Now, before we move on to our final tip, if you are enjoying this lesson and want to feel more confident in your daily life, please take a second to subscribe to the Pocket English podcast. We create these lessons specifically to help you speak without fear, and when you subscribe, you make sure you never miss a chance to practice. Yes, please do join our community. We love helping you grow. Now, Sarah, we have one more technique for our listeners today. This is a slightly more advanced trick, but it is magic for sounding like a native speaker. It is called the actually twist. I love the actually twist. This is my favorite tip. You see, native English speakers love to use the word actually. We use it when we want to share a secret or surprise people with a contrast. It signals that you are telling the truth or sharing a personal preference that might be different from what people expect. Exactly. Let's look at how this works in an introduction. Imagine you live in a big, busy city like London or New York. People expect you to be a city person. They expect you to like noise and crowds, but maybe you don't. So you can use the +1 rule with the word actually to show your real personality. For example, I live in London, but actually I prefer the countryside because I love nature. Ooh, that is really good. I live in London, but actually I prefer the countryside. That sentence tells me so much about you. It tells me you live in the city, probably for work, but your heart is in nature. It makes me feel like I know a secret about you. And that creates instant friendship. Let's try another one. Maybe you have a very serious job, like a lawyer or an accountant, but in your free time, you love something creative. You can say, I am an accountant, but actually my real passion is painting. That is powerful. You are defining yourself by what you love, not just what you do. The pattern is simple. State the fact, say, but actually, and then share your real preference. Let's try one more example for the students listening. Maybe you are studying mathematics. People think you are very logical. You can say, I am studying mathematics, but actually I want to be a writer in the future. This is such a great tool for B1 learners because it adds complexity to your sentences without difficult grammar. You are just connecting 2 ideas with but actually. So we have 3 tools now. We have the basic +1 rule for your city, we have the adjective pairs for your job, and we have the actually twist for sharing your personality. Now, Mark, I think we should put this all together. I want to hear what a full, natural introduction sounds like using all these pieces. That is a great idea. Let's do a simulation. I will introduce myself using all the techniques we learned today. Listeners, I want you to listen carefully. Notice how I never give a naked fact. I always add a detail. Ready? Here I go. Hi, I am Mark. I am from a small town near the coast. It is very quiet in the winter, but I love the ocean air. I work as a podcast host, which is busy but so much fun because I get to talk to people all day. And currently I live in the city, but actually I am planning to move to the mountains next year because I love hiking. Mark, that was perfect. It was fluid, it was interesting, and it gave me so many things to ask you about. I could ask you about the ocean, I could ask you about podcasting, or I could ask you about hiking. You gave me 3 doors to open.
And that is the goal of an introduction. It is not a test. It is an invitation to play. It is an invitation to talk. Now, listeners, we are going to do something special. We are going to do a pocket practice. I am going to ask you 3 questions. I want you to answer them out loud, using the techniques we just practiced. Do not worry about mistakes. Just try to add that extra detail. Question number 1. Where are you from? Remember, add one feeling or fact about the place. Go. That was good. I hope you added a nice adjective there. Question number 2. What do you do? Remember to use the pattern it is adjective, but adjective. Go. Very nice. Even if you just said it is busy but good, that is a huge improvement over just saying your title. And question number 3. What do you like? Try to use the actually twist if you can. For example, I like pizza, but actually I prefer tacos. Or tell us a hobby. Go. Well done. You just introduced yourself in natural English. The most important thing to remember is that you do not have to be perfect. You just have to be personal. When you add these small details, the rain in your city, the stress of your job, your secret love for hiking, you become human, and people want to speak to humans, not textbooks. We recommend that you practice this a few times today. In fact, here is your challenge for this week. It is a very small challenge, but it will help you a lot. After this episode finishes, take your phone, open the voice recorder app, and record your introduction. Yes, record yourself. Say your name, where you are from, and what you do. But use the +1 rule. Then, listen to the recording. Ask yourself, do I sound like a robot, or do I sound like a friend? If you sound like a robot, delete it and try again. Add more feeling, add more adjectives. Do this until you have a recording that makes you smile. When you hear yourself sounding friendly and natural, your confidence will grow so much. You will realize that you are ready to meet new people in English. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Pocket English. We are so proud of the progress you are making. Every time you press play, you are getting a little bit better, a little bit stronger, and a little bit more fluent. If you enjoyed this lesson, please leave us a like or a comment. Tell us where you are from in the comments using the +1 rule. We would love to read about your cities and your feelings. We will see you in the next episode for another pocket-sized lesson. Until then, keep talking, keep listening, and keep adding that +1. Bye, everyone. Goodbye.